Instant Pot black-eyed peas and greens is a flavorful, easy way to ring in some good luck in the new year. Hi Mindful Moms and Dads, Kristen here. As someone who suffers from a chronic disease, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. Growing up in Northeast Ohio, I was always told that I had to eat pork and sauerkraut on New Year's to bring good luck for the new year. Now, once I moved to the South 15 years ago, I quickly found out that wasn't a tradition here. Instead, black-eyed peas and greens were thought to bring in good luck in the new year. Now, truth be told, I'm not very superstitious, but I do love greens. And this recipe for Instant Pot black-eyed peas with greens, oh, it's so delicious and so easy to make. In fact, even my picky kids, more impressive, my picky husband, love these greens. So let's put on our kitchen capes and make Instant Pot black-eyed peas and greens. The first thing we want to do is hit saute on our Instant Pot. We're going to let our Instant Pot warm up so we can saute a little bit of bacon, which is really going to give our greens a lot of flavor. If you're vegetarian, you can certainly skip this step. I have 3 thick slices of bacon that I've chopped up here, and I'm just going to saute those and let them render off their fat and get nice and browned. Once the bacon has been browned, I'm going to remove it to a paper towel lined plate and let the grease drain off. Now in my inner pot, I am left with some grease here. I want about a tablespoon of grease. If you have more than that, you want to drain off some of that grease. I have about a tablespoon today, so I'm perfect. To my grease, I'm going to add in 1 small minced onion. If you don't have bacon grease, if you skip the bacon, you can certainly use a little bit of olive oil to saute your onion. And we're just gonna saute our onion for just 3 to 4 minutes, just until it gets nice and soft. Once our onion is translucent, turn our Instant Pot off, and then we need to deglaze our pan. You know the drill. Anytime we use our saute function, we really want to make sure we get any brown bits off the bottom of our Instant Pot so that we don't cause a burn notice. For my liquid today, I'm using 3 cups of water. You don't want to use any salted broth because we're going to cook dried beans, and that salt can interfere with cooking our beans when they're dried. So I'm just using water today. This recipe will have plenty of flavor. I'm going to add in about a half a cup of the water. I'm only adding in about a half a cup because I find it's easier so that the water doesn't splash all over me while I'm trying to deglaze my pan. And then I'm just going to scrape the bottom of the inner pot here just to remove all those little brown bits. Really got to get it good when you cook with bacon. I'm going to add in the rest of my water. That was a total of 3 cups of water. You certainly can use unsalted stock if that's what you have on hand. But remember, don't use regular or low sodium stock because that'll interfere with cooking our black-eyed peas. Now for flavoring up our greens and beans. I like my greens with a little bit of kick, a little bit of spice, and a little bit of tang. So I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, a half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Adjust that depending on how you like things spicy. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. I do find the sugar to be necessary in this recipe as it helps mellow out the bitterness of the greens and balance out the heat and tanginess. And finally, I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for that tang. For the black-eyed peas, I have 1 cup of dried black-eyed peas that I'm going to rinse well and then just quickly run my fingers through looking for any rocks. It's been known to happen a time or 2. Add those black-eyed peas to the liquid here. And now for the greens. You want to use a pound of either collard greens or mustard greens. I have about a pound of collard greens here today that I've just cut into small ribbons. You don't really need to remove the rib as it's going to soften in the pressure cooker. We're just going to pile this on our liquid here. And that's it. We're going to pop our lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure our vent knob is pointed towards sealed. And then we're going to set cook time for 40 minutes on high pressure. Once the cooking time has elapsed, don't do anything. That is so important when you're cooking dried beans or black-eyed peas. You really want to let pressure release on its own so that our black-eyed peas stay intact and so that we're not spewing hot liquid all over our kitchen. After about 15 minutes, the pressure should be released, and then you can open up your Instant Pot. Now we can add our salt to flavor up our greens. I'm adding in about a teaspoon of kosher salt here. You can adjust that for your preferences. And then I'm just gonna give everything a nice stir. Smells so good. I'm gonna dish that out. Top it with that crumbled bacon that we reserved earlier when we sauteed the bacon. Now it's time to dig in. The first thing that stands out to me is how perfect those black-eyed peas are cooked. They're soft, but yet they still have their texture. They didn't fall to mush. They're perfect. And the greens are soft and they have so much tang and a little bit of heat, and some sweetness hits on the back of my palate, and oh, it's so delicious. I can't guarantee good luck, but I certainly can guarantee good greens. And if you're looking for more good luck recipes, be sure to check out my next video where I show you how to make Instant Pot pork and sauerkraut. Until then, happy cooking.